Coach.
It's been a while.
Come on, Coach.
Yeah, a little practice tonight and a basketball game tomorrow night, the first of the year. See how the team does. We'll see how the team
You
does. But,
making Coach K and these guys look like crap, man. Look at you.
well, hopefully I
You
can
could
do
be
better
a
than Jeff
European soccer
Capel.
coach.
I'm just hoping I can do better than Jeff Capel in basketball. That's all.
That
He,
was a
he
hell of a
lost again.
comeback they had there.
Oh, that was Ohio State, and they lost to Texas A&M last night.
Yeah.
So
Hell
they
of a
were
comeback against Texas A&M. They couldn't come all the way back, though.
couldn't come all the way back. But I don't think we're doing tonight's Hillbilly Yinzer podcast on how poorly Jeff Capel was actually coaching the Pittsburgh Panthers. I think we
No, that's
have
pretty far
bigger
down
fish to
the run
fry.
there.
Bigger fish to fry.
Yeah. What an embarrassing weekend for the Steelers. Do you want to start with your observations, or shall I?
No, I'll let you go. I'll let you go.
Okay. So I knew the game was over when he got sacked on the first play of the second half. How is that possible, man? I try to be the optimist, but I knew it was over because everything has to go perfect for this team to win. Everything. Mike Tomlin's master plan's got to go perfectly. We got to have no turnovers, 6-minute drives that end in a Boz field goal, and the other team turned the ball over 5 times. And it was looking pretty good up until the fumble 6. So that was terrible. The Renegade thing is just, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. That's so embarrassing. And now they got the Ravens 2 of the next 3 weeks. And you would think they could win that because we always beat the Ravens at least once, sometimes twice. But I'm not too optimistic about it. Does it really matter, though? This is not a playoff team. What's your take?
My take is, first of all, I don't have live TV, so I didn't get to watch the game, which was
You
probably a
lucky
good
bastard.
thing. I got to follow it a little bit on the Gamecast, or as I was trying to follow my fantasy football league team that actually won for once in a while. But reading about it, seeing the highlights, listening to other podcasts, obviously it was devastating. The whole fact that the team did not have any oomph, excitement, energy. They're professional football players. You can go on and go on and go on about the contracts that TJ got, the extension that Cam Hayward was holding out for, yada, 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 yada. But you got to play. I mean, I don't know what to say on that fact. And if the players do everything they possibly can, then they should be competitive. I also understand that it goes to the coaching staff, and the coaching staff needs to put these guys into positions, whether they're offensive schemes or schematics or the defensive schematics. But I will bring this up. Remember how many times I've had this conversation with you. If a play works, why did they not run it over and over and over again? But what did TJ Watt say Buffalo did? They ran the same play over and over and over because it worked, and nobody stopped it. Again, I don't understand why offense coordinators don't do things like that just in general. So the defense, is the defense. It is going to get any better. It's going to go up and down, up and down. It'll be all pulled on the offense. And, of course, we got the ageless wheelchair wonder, Adam Thielen, who will be our WR2 at the age of 35, which is awesome. We're in panic mode when it comes down to it. The firing or the chance of fire Mike Tomlin again. I've said this before to you, and I've said it on the podcast. I don't know Mike Tomlin. Don't hate Mike Tomlin. It's just really about he's run its course. He's either there because of pride, but more or less he's probably there because he wants 200 victories, and he's at 189. So is he going to be there another year to get it? This all falls on Art Rooney Jr. too, or Art Rooney 2, or whatever you want to call him. He's the gutless wonder right now. He's the one that's got to figure it out and make his move. But as I've also said with you before, it's not the same anymore. It's not the same when you and I were growing up in the 70s, the 80s, even though the 80s were rough for Steelers, the 90s. It's a business. It's a business now. It's all about the mighty dollar. It's not about necessarily winning that much anymore, in my opinion. Some teams, some owners, yes. A lot of owners, no. Look at the Pirates. No. And again, I'm making assumptions. I get it. And there are a lot of teams out there that probably feel the same way that hey, we haven't had a losing season in 18 years. And there are teams like Cleveland going, we've had 18 losing seasons or whatever that is. what's the difference though? Because the ultimate goal is to get to the Super Bowl, is to get to the playoffs, win a playoff, and get to the Super Bowl. Whether you're having winning seasons or losing seasons doesn't really matter. But I mean, that's kind of my parlay on it. The whole Renegade Boo thing. I mean, you got to read the room. I mean, seriously, you just got to read the room. That's not the right time to play it, and or even to play it. Period, based on how that team is performing. And yes, you're right. I would not be surprised if they go to Baltimore and win. However, Derek Harmon is not going to be playing. He's hurt, and he's the one that usually kind of helps stopgap that run. So I don't know. Derrick Henry might have another great day, which, to be honest with you, I have Derrick Henry in my fantasy football league team, and
Oh
I will
no.
be playing him, and I will be playing him against the Pittsburgh Steelers, good or bad. I don't know, email. We have these conversations all the time, and the only way it'll ever happen is if he retires, steps down, or if they trade him because they've reached an agreement with him. But he's making 16 million. He's not walking away from 16 million.
Well, it's just embarrassing to see these teams that have figured it out, like the Bills, the Packers. We still have to play the Chiefs, Lions. There's other teams that we've played that they know what to do during winning time, and they know that they got to get in a shootout to win. You know, we got in shootouts all the time when Big Ben was there and
Mm,
Brown and the other,
yeah.
Le'Veon Bell and the other assortment of skilled players that we had. We won shootouts all the time, and Tomlin was the coach. So, yeah, we don't have that kind of firepower now. DK Metcalf is whining and getting personal fouls. And when he does get a chance to do something, he's not really running over anybody or getting yaks, yards after catch. So we don't have the tools to play like we did under Big Ben. Rodgers is dropping F bombs, yelling at the receivers. When he missed two or three throws, in that game, he missed Wilson on one throw. Man, he missed him by 10, 12 feet. I mean, it was a terrible throw. So Rodgers is struggling. Probably has a lot to do with he has broken wrist, but we don't have anybody to go to. Mason's not going to come in and save the day. But it's just embarrassing because it's been like 3 or 4 years now. I mean, people were saying there was whispers before, but it's been 3 or 4 years now that even your casual fan can see that he's got a formula that he wants to follow, which I talked about 10 minutes ago. And when that formula fails, we're done, man. We have no way to win a shootout game at the end. And Fryermuth is frustrated, as he should be. Jonnu Smith is getting targets, as many targets as he is. And Smith blew a couple of blocks in that game, that caused sacks or caused Warren to get blown up in the backfield. So they're just so damn dysfunctional. It would just be hilarious if they ended up 9-8 and won the division this year because they have no chance of winning a playoff game, no matter where they play. So that's the Steelers in a nutshell. And
Yeah.
yeah, the Roethlisberger Penn State thing is funny. I was thinking maybe he doesn't like Penn State, so he wants Tomlin to go there and try to pull a Belichick and watch him go down in flames. Although, did you see Belichick got a top 15 high school recruiting class, so maybe he is going to do okay there if he doesn't die first.
Yeah, well, there's a good point right there. I don't think Belichick is going to survive college football because I just don't think it's such a different level of how you recruit to the players that you get in the NFL by drafting. And then, of course, with the transfer portal, if someone doesn't get the playing time they want, they're immature, they think they can go and do something better somewhere else, they're going to leave. So it really doesn't matter, in my opinion, whether you have a top 10 recruiting class or you have the 50th recruiting class. It's
Yeah,
basically how
they're
you
not
can
going to stay.
develop. Yeah, it depends on how you develop those players and how much playing time those guys get to somebody who comes in and poaches Virginia Tech. James Franklin comes over and poaches a
Poach
UNC
six
player.
six
Exactly.
Penn State players
Did they go?
flipped to Virginia Tech today. Yeah,
And it doesn't surprise me. And then that's the stuff that you have in college football nowadays that just, I don't know, it makes it to that time where you and I have discussed this too, and we discussed a lot of things off the air, and we're trying to put it on the podcast. Is that you go to the soccer system of standings and leagues. You've got
Yeah,
your
they're gonna
top
have
tier,
to.
because how else are you going to ever
They're
get to
gonna have to go pro rel.
the
Yeah.
the equality of, because it's like listening to people, the Panthers, and I'm not going to talk about West Virginia. The Panthers are always going to be an 8-4 team, and then every once in a while they'll be 10-2, and then every once in a while, like say 8-4 with Mason Heinzel this year, maybe 10-2 next year. If everybody stays, maybe they're a playoff team, and then when he leaves, you're back to potentially 8-4. You know what I'm saying? There's never going to be that with Pat Narduzzi, that consistent standard of being a 10-2 and above. He's that middle of the range coach.
Yeah, I
That's
agree.
just my
I
opinion.
agree. Yeah.
You know, a lot.
Yeah. And I thought that with Neil Brown didn't have the success that Deuce has had. He didn't win a conference championship, and he had a winning record, but he couldn't beat anybody that was any good. He just got hired at North Texas yesterday.
Did he
Neil
really?
Brown did. But I always said that the end of the end of the rainbow with Neil Brown, and to some extent with Pat Narduzzi, is not the pot of gold. It's the Duke's Mayo Bowl or the equivalent of that.
Pop
And
Tart Bowl?
why do you stick with a coach when that's the end of the rainbow? With Rich Rodriguez, it may explode and implode, but we know what the end of the rainbow is there potentially. It's way higher than the Duke's Mayo Bowl, so that's why you got to suffer through the early stages of the rebuild. Anyway, let's move on to our next topic here. This is a good one for me. So those of you out there that follow the Pittsburgh Pirates baseball club know of the Bucko brick fiasco, where the Pirates front office staff allowed all the bricks, the commemorative bricks that were put in the ground back in 2001 when the stadium was erected, and there was a couple thousand of them in the ground around the statues around the stadium. Mine was just below Pops, Willie Stargell. And so I guess they weren't looking too good, so they ripped them out of the ground and didn't tell anybody. And somebody snapped off a picture of them at a landfill. So they put them in a dump truck and took them to a landfill, and they were trying to put them in the ground. They were trying to throw them away. Somebody busted them. So it was a big blow up, and everybody was talking about where's my brick? I want my brick. A lot of people were demanding their brick back, but these bricks were all torn up, crumbled up. Anyway, I got a letter in the mail last week from Bob Nutting. Here it is.
Oh,
From
Bob.
Bob Nutting. Okay.
Bob Nutting.
And he's talking about how he's so appreciative of my support, myself and my wife Gina, who's also on the brick, and talking about how they were sorry about what happened, and as a thank you to us for being a Bucko brick holder, Bob sent us a brick. Okay, there's our brick, and this thing weighs, Veej, man, this thing weighs like probably 25 pounds.
Damn.
And he mailed a couple of thousand of these out last week. Now he may have gotten a deal, I don't know, but that seems like a little bit on the expensive side. It's like Bob, I don't want this, man. I want Pete Alonso. I want somebody who can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Anyway, here's my original. I didn't need the replica brick because I have my original replica brick with a nice plaque on it that the Buccos sent me back in 2001. Okay, look at this piece of crap. It looks like he got a deal, like there was some bricks in a rail yard somewhere, and he got a deal for a couple thousand of them, and he got them to engrave our names on it. It's not even close to the quality of the original one. So anyway, thanks, Bob. Thanks for nothing. And, this is what I totally expect out of you. And, man, I wish that I could be appreciative because you did go to some effort here. But, man, this is just the latest example of why we are the worst organization in baseball. And that's all I got to say about that.
If Bob had more class, whether we want to say he has class in sending you all bricks, every one of you who had purchased a brick in 2001. And again, thank you very much for the support of having PNC built with your donations. If he had the true class, E-Man, he would have sent you 2 tickets for opening day of 2026. And to be honest with you, and I'm being serious, if you're going to do that with the brick scenario, and your brick scenario is basically sending you a replica brick of that was put in and dug out, then what they should have done is they should have gotten everybody whose brick was sent to them 2 complimentary tickets to opening day.
No, we got to buy tickets. See, they're gonna have a new wall with bricks. So in addition to this replica brick that he sent to all of us, they're gonna have a wall with our bricks on it, which they had to redo those bricks too.
Still, they should have sent you 2 tickets.
And that's going to be done on opening day 2026. So, but we got to buy tickets for the game.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Not gonna
You're going to buy tickets. They should have been complimentary.
You want to go
in that situation?
I might be
sure.
There.
I'm there. We're going to buy season tickets anyway. This podcast is going to have good season tickets. We're going to give them away. We're going to give them away because we want to make sure that people get an opportunity to see potentially bad baseball, or maybe even decent baseball.
And if you guys are watching this and you have a couple minutes, go to HillbillYinzer.com because Veej and I have a short video of us smoking a couple stogies at the outfield wall of Forbes Field during a recent trip to Pittsburgh. We also have footage of us in the stadium celebrating Joey Bart's first home run since May. And we went in, what was the month we went in? September.
Yeah. Wednesday, 17th, something like that.
Yeah, that was something. Veej got a thank you, Joey chant going in our section. And it wasn't only because of the home run. It was also because he threw the ball into left center field trying to get a guy out with a 1-run lead, and the tying run scored. Yes, anyway, of course. So that's my Bucko Brick rant. I guess we can leave it there, unless you got another topic.
No, I can't think of anything else. It's not worth harping back on the Steelers going into this Sunday. The Buccos, there's not doing anything that's going on there. The Pens are playing well.
Pens, baby.
They crushed the Flyers last night. I love it. You can only hope that it's not a merry-go-round season and that they've got some roller coaster rides coming up and down. I know November was tough. December hopefully will be a little bit better. All we got to hope for is that the youth starts picking up its fight, because by the time March, April comes around, Jeannie and Sid will probably be another 3 years older, just in the fact that they'll be doing most of the work, and we have no idea where Jari will be. Will Jari be the goalkeeper for the Penguins in April, or will he be traded sometime before that? And if so, then we could be in a world of hurt. But
it just seems like every time Jari gives up more than 3 goals, he goes on the injured list, or he goes down to the minors. Almost like he's so delicate. Flower wasn't delicate. Why is he delicate like a flower?
I don't know.
Flower was
awesome. Flower should have never been
mentally
traded.
tough.
That's a different story for a different podcast. But even though, no matter what happens with the Pens, you gotta love being a Pens fan because there's a plan. There's a plan put in place by Dubas. Whether you like Dubas or not, he's got a plan in place to bring that team back to life. There is no plan with the Steelers. There is no plan with the Pirates. And that's where I think we're all, I don't know, upset, if that's even the kind word to say. Probably more irate than anything else, but, you hate to see it. And all we can do is kind of fall back with a whiskey and watch the Pens play. That's the only thing I can think of right now.
Yeah. Well, cheers to our Jag-Off of the Week, Bob Nutting, a repeat winner. And cheers to Tristan Jari for kicking the Flyers' ass, man. You got to give it to him.
Flyers
just
crap,
one night,
great, man.
Yeah.
It's one more victory for the Flyers.
We want to give a continuous shout-out to Crawford's Black and Gold, who's making this podcast possible. Thank you, John. Awesome place, Breezewood, PA. You guys know where it is. You got to stop in.
If you have not been to Crawford's Black and Gold off the Turnpike in Breezewood, you got to go. I mean, the place is just littered
It's
with
so much bigger
Pittsburgh
than I thought it was.
memorabilia. Oh my God. Of course, if
Yeah.
you're a fan of, other teams, he has it. But if you are a Pittsburgh Penguin, Pirate, Steeler fan, he has got all kinds of great merchandise. You can even go online and purchase the merchandise off his website as well. But he's a great gentleman, and he has a lot of wonderful items for you to purchase.
Yeah, it was awesome. Crawford's black and gold, baby. All right, well, let's leave it there. We'll reconvene next week and have a couple more topics, but I sure appreciate you hopping on board before your practice there, buddy.
Hey, E-Man, my pleasure. My pleasure. I love doing this. I can't wait till we actually get more people to respond to some of our podcasts and give us a little more input and topics to talk about.
Yeah, we're going to launch a text line soon. We're going to continue with the sweepstakes. We're going to have polls, so stay tuned. And check out HillbillYinzer.com or HillbillYinzer on YouTube if you want to see past episodes. All right, buddy. Peace.
E-Man, out.
Leitner.